y'all doing this afternoon? All right. Riddle me this. Does a caterpillar know that it's going to become a butterfly? And does the butterfly remember it was once a caterpillar? That's a cute girl, isn't she? Growing up, I had 3 traits that really stuck out. The first, I was adopted. The second, I was high energy. And the third is I had an intense imagination. I even thought that if you glued enough feathers to your arms and flapped them as fast as you could, that you could fly. I still think that, don't laugh. I was a very academically grounded kid. I was honor roll student since 2nd grade going into high school, had perfect attendance as well. Speaking of high school, I remember I was an orchestra child, and we were going to a field trip to Washington, D.C. Now, I got really excited to go, so that Wednesday before, my parents, they took me to the mall, and they bought me these black, white, and yellow shoes, and they were Dadas. And I don't know who remembers those shoes, but they were all the rage back in the day. So that Thursday, I went to school in my yellow shoes, black pants, and a high yellow shirt that was so bright that if you stood on the moon and looked down, you could GPS pinpoint my location. So I'm walking to school that Thursday morning, and I'm on the wooded side of the street, and I wanted to get across so I can get to school, and I'm high-stepping. I'm looking good, I see my shoes, I'm fresh. Now, in my freshman year of high school, right before this day, I was the most popular kid that I could want to be. I had friends, I was doing well in school, I thought I was pretty hot. So as I'm walking down the street, I cross the street, the bus driver waves me across, I look left and right, and the next thing I remember was rolling on the ground a couple times. Now, I figured, you know what, people saw me trip off this curb. I need to hurry up and get back to school. I dust myself off, put my glasses back on, and proceed to walk. And as I'm walking, I hear something faintly, stop. And I didn't really think it was of anything of it, and then I heard, stop! And I turn and look at this lady, and I put my hands up, and I say, ma'am, you are bringing way too much attention to me. I just tripped, and I am trying to recover cool points. You are ruining this for me. And she looks at me, she puts her hand on my shoulder, and she says, no, you need to sit down. You've just been hit by a car. She starts asking me a barrage of questions, such as, do you know where you are? Do you know your name? Do you know your mother's phone number? And she asked me to call my mom. And back then, I thought the biggest concern my mother would have wasn't the fact that I got hit by the car. But remember those $60 shoes you bought me the day before? Gone. In 2 blinks of an eye, my mom was there. The lady proceeded to tell my mom exactly what happened. She said, your daughter was walking across the street. And now I remember that. And she said, you looked left and you looked right. But it was that time that you looked right that the car came barreling around the corner going about 45 miles an hour. And she knew right then and there was no way it was not going to hit me. And that car hit me in such a way that I dented the side passenger door, removed the passenger side mirror, dented the hood, then damaged the engine to total the car, had a hole in the windshield, dented the hood of the car, did a 360-degree turn in the air, and landed, boom, on my back like a wrestler. Had I turned a 1/4 of an inch further, I would have snapped my neck. I kind of meditated on that over the weekend and got excited to go back to school on Monday to get the support of my peers. I'm glad you're okay. It's nice to see you. What I didn't expect was the rumors. The one that stuck out. I heard there was this girl. She wanted to kill herself. So she saw this car coming, and she jumped out in front of the car, trying to kill herself. So, since she wants to die so badly, why don't we name her Casper? I went back into school Monday, not as Ebony, but as a ghost. Every friend that I had either ignored me because I'm a ghost and you don't talk to ghosts, Or they've joined in the bullying, the pointing, and the laughing because you should have died in a car accident. And all you have is a scrape on your elbow. You didn't break any bones. You totaled the car, but you didn't break yourself. Instead of the good, I experienced all of the bad. And I went home, and I remember crying myself to sleep night after night until my mother, she got tired of it, and she transferred me to a different school, but the damage had been done. And while no, I did not physically die in that car accident, spiritually, I was gone. I ended up graduating high school at the bottom half of my class, and I went to college, I was homeless, and I joined the Army within 8 months' time. After 6 years in the military, the only time I stepped onto the battlefield was every time I walked into the house that I shared with Alonzo. Now, Alonzo was the fourth in a string of abusive relationships. I'd been through the typical hitting, the name calling. This New York brother stood about 5'7", from the Bronx and very proud, very intelligent. Nothing physically intimidating to look at, but he trapped me, the very essence of what was left of who I am, and destroyed it. And I had enough. So I tried to break things off. And the last encounter we had as I was walking into my home on the phone with my best friend, I didn't greet him face to face. No, see, he was more of the type that would wait until you got home and would make sure all of the lights are out. And as you go through the home and flick on the lights, he would be there. This was no different because tonight, when I walked into my bedroom, I looked over my left shoulder, and like a zombie rising out of the earth, he stood and met my gaze. On the phone with my best friend, I told her, if you do not hear from me in 5 minutes, you know the drill. Call the police. I walk out of the bathroom, and I see that Hennessy bottle in his hand, and I know that this is going to be one of those long nights. And I went through the typical, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. I wish I had a leash that I could put around your neck so that when I walked you out in public, people would know you were my dog, not a stray. At the end of that bottle, I asked him, do you want me to throw that away for you? And surprise, he simply just said yes and handed me the bottle. And I knew then I had one of two choices. I can either hit him with it and hope that he doesn't wake up, or I could run. But if I run, I know that I'm going to be running for my life. So I chose to run. And as I ran, I could hear him behind me. And I'm running through the living room, and I can hear all the way behind me. And I know at that point that I have to get to the gas station that's across the street. So I run out of those doors, and I run across the street, and I see a pothole, and I forgot that it was there. And I trip over the pothole, but I get back up because I can hear him walking right behind me. And I finally get to the gas station, and now he's behind me, and we're between the aisles. And I'm here, and he's there. And I'm walking this way, he's going that. And I'm going this way, and he's going that. And it wasn't until, woo, 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 my God, like an angel, I heard those sirens. The police pulled him outside. They didn't arrest him. He didn't touch me. I went on the ambulance truck, and I looked at my knee. I noticed my leg was in pain, and I knew I hit the ground, but I didn't know that I'd hit the pothole in such a way that it butterflied my kneecap wide open. You could see the flesh of my knee, and in two different areas, the bone in my leg. The ambulance asked me to come with them so they can stitch me up, give me antibiotics, try to help me heal. I told him no for two reasons. I have work in 30 minutes, sir, and I don't have health insurance. I can't afford this. But the real reason was because I felt like if I went to the hospital, that he could be there too. And I'm not safe where he is. If I go to work, at least for 8 hours, I know he can't be there. At least I can be safe there. So on one foot, I hopped to my car. On my left leg, I drove to work. And I started to feel this depression that I'd been feeling when I was a kid come back and sink in, and it stuck this time. And Lord, it stuck hard. I remember there was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, August 2013. And on that Sunday at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was tired, y'all. I'd given up so much of myself that there wasn't a me to have anymore. I felt like I'd gone through so much, I couldn't do this anymore. So I got down to my knees. I looked up, and I said, "Damn it, God, I am tired! I am tired of going through this every year. My birth mother did not want me. My birth father did not want me. The kids at school, they ridiculed me for something I didn't even do. I am tired. And I have tried to live this life, but God, I can't live it anymore. So you have 24 hours to show me something. Because my hand to God himself, if you do not, we will meet face to face, and you'll give me my damn explanation." Three hours later, my father came to pick me up. My father, he's not too much of a talking man. He's a preacher, but when it comes to emotions, he doesn't do too much talking. My father listened to me talk from 7:30 to 11 a.m., put off his job that does not start without him, to listen to his daughter spill her spirit to him. My father told me, this strong, big man who literally built the house that him and my mother share with his bare hands, told me that he was not strong enough to have lived through what I did. My father told me that he could not have survived what I've been through. It broke my father's heart to hear what I told him, but it healed my heart to know that some man, anybody, somebody cared enough for me, to say that you are worth everything. My father told me, if you haven't died yet, then it's the reason that you're still here. And no, I'm not perfect, but God thought I'm worth it. Now, here today, I stand before you all, my Capital family and friends, and I've only been here 8 months, but I feel like I belong here. And no, I'm not perfect. When I walk past a group of you all, and you're talking amongst yourselves and you laugh when I walk by, I still think you're laughing at me. I prefer to talk to you all in groups, anybody really, in groups, because I feel as though individually, each one of you can judge me and figure out what you don't like about me. It took me 32 years to do 3 things: love myself, cherish myself, and find myself. And if you listen closely to the hum of my wings, you will hear my song. And my song, thank you, God, is beautiful, just like yours.
Thank you. How's that for the start of a ride?
How does it feel to finally be free? I wonder, will I ever know? Sometimes I dream of how that can be, to have a life that I own. When you look at me, what do you see? Do you understand my story? All I want is love, someone else to see. If you took the time, I have a song. For so long I've been searching something that we're proud